Clint on Long Island. What's going on, Clint?
Nope, it's Glenn. Can you hear me, Eddie? I'm on the Belt Parker. Can you hear me?
Hey, Glenn, I got you. Go ahead, man. They wrote Clint. I'm sorry. I got you, buddy.
Eddie,
can you hear me?
Okay,
I hear
awesome,
you.
Awesome, I can. So listen, big fan, man. I love everything you talk about every day. Thank you. Keep me going to the car. So listen, I'm taking my son to a Kiss show in August. He's going to be 16. He's never seen Kiss. I've seen him, I don't know, over 30 times. Do I let him watch a Kiss show before we go on, or do we just kind of get him there and have him surprised? I know it's different than it was in the Heyday, but still, what do you think?
I would probably take him to it cold, not show him in advance, and then afterwards, I would show him a classic show and say, this, what you saw was a version of the band. This is how it all started and the guys that created it. Does that sound fair? Glenn's phone was a mess. Sorry, buddy. I hope you got the message through, but your phone was just not well. Drive safely. Thank you for listening. But yeah, I'd probably let him take it all in. I mean, but then again, if you think about it, most people, the very first time they saw Kiss, no matter what era it was, had seen some videos or concerts or something that showed you what they did and what they looked like and how they behaved on stage. So if he's 16, he's probably seen some of that stuff online or whatever. I would just make sure he knows his history, that there's two guys up there that look like Ace and Peter and are acting like Ace and Peter, but they're just kind of having to do that job. And Ace and Peter created those characters and what those guys are doing. And it's kind of like, I would just make sure that's clear to the youngster. Because to me, that's important. Jim in Houston. What's going on, Jim?
It's actually Jeff in Houston. Sorry about that.
Let's go. Who's on our phones today? They got their ears clogged? What's going on there, Ed?
Our intern, Dylan.
Oh, my gosh, Dylan. Clear the ears. Yeah. Jeff, I'm sorry. Go ahead, buddy.
That's quite all right. Just wanted to say I went to see Steven Adler here in Houston last week, and I got to say I thought he did a fantastic job.
Yeah? He played at Warehouse Live, right?
He did. And I got to meet him before the show. I got to tell you, he was so grateful.
Oh, he's a great guy.
As soon as I walked in the room, he was like, "Hey, how you doing?" Give me a big hug and everything. It was awesome.
He's a great dude. And let me ask you this: how was the turnout? That's a pretty big room. How did he do?
I would say probably a little less than half.
Yeah, that's what I would think. Yep.
If I had to guess.
Yeah.
But something I meant to tell him, and it just slipped my mind. I wanted to thank him for fighting his demons.
Yeah,
his battles with addiction.
Yeah, he's a great dude. He really is, Jeff. And it's unfortunate that he didn't get a bigger piece of this whole Guns N' Roses thing. It really is, because he wanted it so badly, and he was so outspoken about wanting it. How was his band? Did he do all GNR material?
He did. He did 2 Adler songs, and I can't remember which ones they were. The band was on fire. They were. Phenomenally good.
You just gave me an idea. Every time I go to L.A., or even when I'm not in L.A., Adler will send me randomly these texts of these songs from his past that he wants me to play and talk about. And It's been a little while since he's been on the show, and he's a friend. I'm going to text him in a minute or two when we go to this next break, and I'm going to invite him to come on with me from L.A. if he's in town on Thursday, because I'm doing Wednesday with Tammy from Faster Pussycat. Maybe Thursday I get Adler to come over to the studio while I'm still in L.A. Thank you, Jeff, for the call, and get him to sit in a little bit. We haven't talked to Steven in a while. I love him. He's a great guy. I haven't seen him in a while. I'm going to make that offer for sure, Jeff, and hopefully you'll hear Steven if he's available to come and sit in with us on the show on Thursday. By the way, I'll be at Warehouse Live on August 17th hosting Tom Kiefer, one of the opening acts on that show, Electric Radio Kings, new band. Stacey Blades, formerly of LA Guns, is in that. Should be a lot of fun. Warehouse Live in Houston, August 17th. All my appearances are on the homepage. It's a great venue. And I did see that Steven Adler was playing there. There's been a lot of stuff going on as far as bands playing in Europe. It is the middle of festival season right now in Europe, and if you follow any of your favorite bands on social media, whether it be Rob Zombie, whether it be Kiss, whether it be Whitesnake, whoever, they're posting all these pictures of these gargantuan crowds. Those are European festivals. It is the height of the festival season in England, throughout Europe, France, and a lot of those festivals have happened over the last few weeks, and that is what is happening as we speak in that part of the world. There's a band that I'm always asked about by listeners. Dan Yankees, of course, the supergroup at the time of Tommy Shaw, Jack Blades, Michael Cardelloni, and Ted Nugent from the second album, Don't Tread on Me. And I spoke to Jack Blades recently on the Volume Show. And every time I announce that I'm going to have somebody from that band on any of my shows, people always ask me to ask about Dan Yankees. And it's always the same answer. You know, they can't get together. They're not on the same schedule. They're all committed to their major full-time projects and all that. So I had a listener suggest to me to suggest to them that why not do a tour of Damn Yankees, Ted Nugent, and Styx all in the same night that ends with a 4 or 5 song reunion set from Dan Yankees, which I thought was a brilliant idea. And I proposed that to Jack Blades, I don't know, a month ago when he was on my Volume Show, and he loved it. Now, whether it goes anywhere, I have no control of that, and I have no idea, but he did think it was also a pretty good, solid idea. And Michael Cardelloni, who plays in Leonard Skinner announced that they were going to retire. However, and we've seen this with so many bands, they just keep adding shows. So, I mean, they might be going for a while longer, too. What a bill that would be if you threw Skinner on. Now, the difference is there, Michael is not one of the principal, controlling, if you will, members of Leonard Skinner's schedule. But I'm sure he'd have some windows that he could carve out to be able to go and play drums. The other thing I never knew about Dan Yankees, and I confirmed this recently as well, is that there was a third album recorded. And Damon Johnson, who was on this show not long ago, and on my Volume Show not long ago, was a part of it. Because Tommy Shaw had just at that time, I guess, returned to Styx and was only partially involved. So Damon was going to come in as sort of a replacement for Tommy. And they did make a record. And Damon told me that the record he just felt and the rest of the band felt was kind of different and truly not great. And they shelved the whole thing. And the label that was behind it fell apart and all that. But there is a third recorded Damn Yankees record with Damon Johnson's involvement that has never to this day been released or, to my knowledge, even leaked. And Damon was telling me next time he sees me, he'll play me some of it, from his phone. But he said that that's the only way people will really hear it because it just kind of got squashed. But that's interesting, too, as the Damn Yankees lore continues to grow among certain circles, if we're being honest, but, our kind of circles.